Okay, you're welcome to the class of Creativity and Design here at Government University. This is the undergraduate class, 400 levels, and it's the year 2024/2025. The good thing about the class of Creativity and Design is that we always create. We create using history allowing us to understand language of creativity and design. Once you learn the history of any language, of any discipline, of any subject, it will allow you to understand the language of that subject matter, and you can use that subject matter, the language of that subject matter, to create in a better direction, your present, your past, and your future. So for us to start creating in the class of Creativity and Design here at Government University, we are going to start by learning the history of creativity so that we can understand the language of creativity and design. This also applies to your mathematics, your physics class, your chemistry, your biology class. Regardless of the class, every discipline has its own language. Okay? Now, most people don't emphasize that in your other class, but in the class of Creativity and Design, we are creating every time we make an expression. Okay? Because existence itself is the self-sustainability of the creator, or the aseity. You can come in. So we're going to start the creation now, and before we do that, my name is Oluwole Aboyade, your creator today, and also we're on Facebook, and I will talk more about that, Creativity and Design on Facebook. And also, in the class of Creativity and Design, somebody helped us in this class to launch the creation of creativity and design. So let's start with the history. We have to go to Google, one of the major platforms in space. You must carry space along in your creation. If you don't carry space along in your creation, you will be missing a lot. As a matter of fact, your creation will be distorted and will be in a state of unrest. One place we can look at it is in the creative spirituality of our dimensions here, even in Living Faith Church worldwide. We refer to the Bible because we go to church for creative spirituality. And the Bible was very, very specific as to the creator in the Bible having reference to creating space. And he said, and I quote, he created the heavens and what? Yes. The heavens and the earth is what? Space. That was what? The first thing he did what? Yes. So space is very important in creation. And if the Bible is telling you, using your creative spirituality, you should accept that as your truth. Now, once you create this space, it's space for you to create, maybe in your living room, maybe in your farm, in your classroom, maybe on the field, maybe in a quiet place, you will have the ability to connect with all of the spirit and the skills of creation. But one good space for you to go to start to learn the language of creation is the internet. The internet is a space, okay? So we have Google here, you can do Facebook, all those things, you have creative minds there too. But the history of creativity and design, as it relates to the Bible, I've pointed out to you. And after the Bible, we had Google, right? Google came after the Bible. So now we're making a reference to that. And they said the history of creativity and design can be tracked back to ancient civilizations and the Renaissance, and includes the Industrial Revolution. That is what Google is saying. Now, there are other talk about creativity, and there's one here. Please go and sit down. Go and sit down quickly, please. Go and sit down quickly, please. Take a seat quickly, please. So, I will have to just revert back and use repetition, one of the principles of design, to allow those just coming in to catch up with us. So what we're saying is that you need to create space for you to be able to create. Because space will enable you to have the peace of mind to create and connect with the skills of creation. And we're looking at Google as a space to start learning the language of creation. And for you to learn the language of creation, or the language of any discipline, including your mathematics, medicine, biology, chemistry, and so on, you must learn the history of that subject. So for the history of creativity and design, we're at Google and we're learning the history. And somebody here, or definition something. He said, creativity is a distinctly non-liberal trait. That would be true because a lot of creative people have liberal nature. Another one says, according to scholars, the earliest Western conception of creativity was the biblical story of creation given in Genesis. You can see that even Google is referencing to the Bible, like I said earlier. And that's why the creator had to create space before creating any other thing. By saying, let there, he created the heavens and the earth before, let there be light, and so on and so on. And remember, words are very powerful. When you create, you must know what to say, how to say it, to whom to say it, to be able to get the creation to be visible. If your creation is not visible, you lack the intelligence of creation. Okay? So, you can see here the reference even to the Bible. Now, you can see images relating to creation here. We talk about all of this stuff, but we're just going to jump that. And this is the question now. What is creativity in your own language? Now, remember the first day in class, you did a practical that you use a 10 naira envelope to write your name, your matric number, and you express yourself on that space called the envelope. Space is the envelope of time. The envelope you used is also the envelope of creation. And as a matter of fact, you will see how that played out in this class. So, what is creativity? Creativity is ability for you to be yourself. Okay? And while being yourself, you need to create that wealthy, healthy state of your existence so that it is sustained. So creativity allows you to come up with your own original being to create products and services to solve both a local and a global problem. For example, we need a tablecloth for an event. That's a problem, right? We don't have the solution. Somebody will have to be given that responsibility to create the tablecloth. We need coffee cups for a gift, for a party. Okay, we want to supply all the offices here with coffee cups. Who is going to do that for us? We need t-shirts. Who is going to do that for us? Those are creative processes, but they are the simplest form of creation that you know in your everyday encounter. So creativity again, and if you want to write, you can write, is being yourself and using originality. Don't be worried about making mistakes when you're creating, okay? It's part of the nature of creation. You can turn your mistakes, your errors, into even better design. And we'll talk about design mind, ability to see values where others don't see value, and how it helps you to ignite design thinking in this creative journey. So I've given you the definition of creativity. Let's now move on. And you can see here, let's make a reference to this individual here. They talk about originality, value, and so on. We'll talk about them. So that's the deal. Creativity is the execution of an idea which has both originality and value. That is what somebody else is saying. And my own definition from what you people created in your first class is that it's being yourself. To be yourself is to be original. Right? That's being yourself. To be able to say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And one person that helps us to achieve this is this individual. Adebayo Blessing. Is that individual here? Who is Oluwole Nuka? Are you here? And this is what you created, right? Can you remember that? Please go and sit down. Can you remember this? And you said, created to what? To create. Created to do what? To create. So that is what we're going to be doing in class today. We are going to be creating because you are in the class of creativity and design. And then we have to look at a poet. Some of you had a poetic expression in your last class. Please keep quiet, please. You are just coming in. Keep quiet and pay attention. Some of you had, in your last class, you had creative way of expressing yourself through poetic expression. Look at what this poet said. The poet is possessed by divine inspiration. The work of poet are entirely the inventions of muses. Who possesses the poet and inspires them? Art is beautiful, only if it is descended from God. the artist's job was not to imitate nature. Guys, everybody go and sit down quickly, please. Take your seat. The artist's job is not to imitate nature, but rather reveal the sacred and transcendent qualities of nature. It's not for you to imitate or copy, but to be yourself. To create that your wonderful person you are, so that it is sustainable. In other words, it's called immortality. Okay? So for those of you who are just coming in, I will just quickly go back again and we'll run from the beginning. And don't worry, repetition is one of the principles of design. I remember we're designing the minds of the student. So let me just quickly go in. Please take a seat quickly so that we'll just quickly catch up. Guys, I know those of you who came earlier, you will be wondering what happened, but please, let's just quickly repeat for their sake. Next time, please make it quick to class. For you to understand creativity, you must learn the history of creativity. The history of creativity will allow you to learn the language of creativity. The language of creativity will now allow you to be able to create with those languages, with those expressions, with those imagination in a better direction to help you achieve wealthy, healthy state of being. Okay? Please, you are in class. You can't be, all of us can't be talking. So you have to pay attention, okay? Now, for you to understand creativity, the definition from the last practical you did in your first day in class, and from what I've seen in your work, is that you people were able to bring idea to reality, to product and services, and you will see what it turned out to be in class today. As a matter of fact, you people were able to be yourself, to be original. That originality gave you ability to sustain yourself, and that's creation. When you are using originality to solve a local problem and a global problem, you are creating. Okay? You are creating. So we're going to move through that. I believe right here, that's me. And we'll go quickly back. Now, we're going to so we've learned about the history of creativity and design and the definition of creativity and design. So now we're going to move into the next one, and the next one is we're going to do nature to design before we move forward. Move forward. The reason why we do nature to design is because we want to be able to identify how we're going to look on our EDS day that is next year. And it's better we start with the theme and with the representation now. So what I have done is that I'm going to introduce you to this plant right here. This is a plant I found. It's called a Java, or what's the other name for it? Wax apple. Yeah, that's what we found. So what I'm going to do now is go to see the print. So we'll go to see the print and say that. So, one moment, please. Let's go back. 1 second, please. Okay, so what we now did was we found a plant that is called the Java plant. And this is the plant here. That's a place I have in town there. That's the plant. It's an apple, you can eat it, it's edible, okay? Most of you know this. But what I did with it was to create a logo, an identity that is original. Okay? Now, this identity here just took the arrangement of the leaves with the apple. Apple computer did that, and you can see the apple there. But this particular apple comes with unique colors, and I thought we can turn this into a logo for this set of students. So, so this is going to represent us, and you will see how it's going to play in the rest of the class. So now, let's move on. Now that we know how we look there, this is how we look in space for this class. This is what you did. Can you see created to create was what you did, right? That was what you did, right? And you can see the apple right there. So this is already on Facebook, and it's called Creativity and Design class. Okay? But how to create this, we're going to talk about that later today. But before we now talk about that, we're going to move to, and I want you to pay attention to this. We're going to move to this dimension. Okay, now, for you to create, you will need to design your thinking. Okay? For you to create for a purpose, you will need to design your thinking. So, this now has led to, we've started with the history. From the history, we learned the language. We're now going to move to the design thinking. And I'll just stop this and start again.